Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Kamu talivu, kamu siva. Assalamu alaikum. Um, and I can say, what's up, bro? This is Musa, Matt Meacham Jr., signing in on Earth. I decided that I would begin my book reading sessions, and when I was doing my inventory, I began to select what I would put in my volume 2 book that's entitled Let's Talk. I'm going to read you at least one of the poems from volume 2. And if I have an urge, I may read 2 or 3 poems from the same volume. Now, this is volume 2 of the book that I'm working on. Everything that I read over the internet, I would like all those listeners to know that everything that I read has been copywritten both in the U.S. and in Africa. So anything that I would read from my to you over the internet, I'm reading for past publications of my books. So you won't have to think that you can just take it and run with it. But let me read. I think I read a couple of poems from my book, Let Us Talk, Volume 2. Some people are too serious about certain things in life. One guy says he is a Christian, and the other guy says he's a Muslim. And then there is the Jew. What about the Hindu? He has a profound message too. But let's not forget Buddha. This is my concern. Mankind and religion to discern. Was it man who defined the idea? Or was it the idea which defined man? Tell me about all this to help me understand. Is it the idea which fosters and invents? Or is it mankind who determines the events? Before there were religions, mankind was in regions, and each group had its own turf. Why is a religious concept more significant than mankind himself? Men fight and curse each other, failing to know their brother. Can the blood of Islam save a Jew? Only the blood of man can do. Can the love of Christianity save a child? Only the love of humankind is alive. Some people are too serious for me. We, mankind, are all humanity. So Suppose there was no man. What religion would take a stand? I like that poem. I have another one. I think I'll read two more poems from this book. You won't see this book until next year because I'm still working on it, but these are the first two poems. Well, I'll read three poems. These will be the first three poems in the book, which won't be published until next year. The next poem is called I Saw the Winds. I saw the winds when they all came. I was standing right by the window pane. I saw the little birds all sleeping in their nest. Their concern was only to rest. But the mighty winds just kept coming. The cute little birds were steady humming. The wind was strong, but these little birds kept singing their song. I saw the wind when it stopped. One house had lost its whole top, but those little birds were still at rest on that treetop in their nest. And the last poem that I'm reading is called In the Stillness of the Light. Flowers grow in the night, not in the light. They strive for the light in darkness when it is bright, not when it is bright. Light of day evolves from the darkest hour. Man's strength derives from another power. Who really knows when all life began? No one knows the ultimate plan. But it seems mankind's concern is to endeavor to discern whose thought or notion determines the way with man. What footprints in the sand will lead the course to follow? This must be the vessel for time and distinguish the minor from prime. In the stillness of the light, there cannot be the night. Those were three of my poems, which have been previously published, but what is happening is I'm putting them in the new book that I'm working on, which will be published, by the end of the year. And that book is called Let Us Talk, and I'm reading from volume 2. See, I'm writing 2 volumes under that title, and that particular poem is from volume 2. Now, the book that's called Let's Talk, it's more than about poetry. I have short stories in that book, and as I indicated earlier, I may put a few essays in one or both of the volumes. Now back to world politics. I think that, I'm looking at the President of the United States of America, President Biden. I think this man is selfish. I think that he's very selfish. And I think that is a very scary thing. This man is elderly, and he's not up to par. I'm trying to think of the right word. He's elderly, and I'm going to say it, and he's incompetent. And he refuses to say, look, I should go home and rest. Let someone strong and young take my place. But this man is so selfish that he will continue to say that he will run for president of the United States of America. This is selfish. This is selfishness. The man is sick. Does he love the country, or does he love himself? Who is out front for Mr. Biden? Who is out front? Does he love the country, or does he love himself? Who's first? And the thing is, this one man in the position that he's in can cause so much confusion and destruction. He is not psychologically competent to be a teacher, to work in a high school classroom, to be a principal of a school. But yet he's the president of the United States of America, a country with several millions of people, human beings like himself. And he put himself before the nation. He puts himself before the nation. I think this is like a bug. The bug is contagious because when I look at what is going on in Kenya, men put themselves above the nation of millions of people. I would think that if one is the leader of a nation, that leader would love the nation more than he would love himself. But I think there's a bug that has attached itself to all the major politicians on earth. These men, human beings, who will rot in the grave like each and every one of us. Yet this one man who will rot in the grave and worms would eat him, one man in all these different nations on earth, who say, me, this one human being, is more important than 40 million of my nationals. We have leadership on the globe where where the leadership is only concerned about itself and not the well-being of the people that it is supposed to be taken care of. All we have to do is examine, what are the leaders doing? What are they doing? What are they doing on an individual level? What is each leader of every country, what is he doing on an individual level? Is he doing more for self than nation? So me, I'm supposed to be more patriotic than the President of the United States of America. Me, the Joe Blow, the common Joe Blow human being, I am supposed to go with arms and kill people for one man who is nothing but one man. And when he goes to the grave, the bugs, the maggots, they will eat him too. So what makes this leadership class that exists on earth today, what makes them think these little individuals are more important than the nation? We're in serious times. You got men. We have the power. Mankind has the power to destroy mankind. When we talk about nuclear warfare, we're talking about almost the total destruction of mankind. And one human being, well, I'm going to use it, I can only talk about the case of the American. One human being, and the person who leads the country, he falls off stages. When we saw the debate, his mind is not clear. He could not even, the president of a nation of millions of people and armies and having nuclear power, and he can't answer a question. He cannot answer a question. It's selfishness. I mean, when you're that old, why don't you go home and rest? Why don't you go home and rest? Okay, it's okay. You 81 years old. You 78 years old. You have lived your life. You have lived your life. What about the rest of humanity? What about the youth of humanity? So it's like a devilish type of thing, because these old men who are dying, well, they can cause all kind of destruction on earth, and then they're gone. And the youth, the young people who walk on the earth will have to suffer for the mistakes, the selfishness, the arrogance of the old generation. This is Musa, Matt Meacham Jr. signing off.